Hey guys, Ycoms here and welcome to another AOR social race. I've been doing quite a few of them in the last couple of days, but none of them has really been worth uploading. I would have liked to show you my first Xbox social race, but yeah, that race especially was quite a mess in the end. So here we are then at Suzuka, track I really like. Haven't driven that to be honest on this game before this social day, or on this day where the social was actually, and yeah, quite a reasonable grid here today as well, with Tirano, Tigger, Race Fanatic, Marco FD, Ryan L83 and a couple of other guys, almost a full grid I guess. So here we are in qualifying. That time the 34.6 was actually set on the mediums, because I messed up my first soft stint, and we're already here on our second flying lap on this soft stint as well, because we can actually do that because it will rain at the start of the race here at the end of the final corner of the first sector, which we hadn't taken that we didn't take that well. Overall, not the best first sector, I have to say. A little bit cautious here through these couple of corners here, because we really want to just set a safe lap in, and if we are setting a safe lap, we should be able to get onto P2 as Tirana Tigger is, I think, almost 9/10 in front of P2, which is Race Fanatic at the moment. So here we go then into Spoon, a very lovely double left-hander also in this game, I have to say. We're taking that quite nicely here. Also a good exit out of there. We're almost, we're 6.5 up now on our previous best. That's definitely on for P2 at the moment if we don't mess up the final chicane. Here we go then into the Casino Triangle, I think that's called, and that's how this section is called. And hitting the apex nicely, not too aggressive on the throttle here. We're coming across the line to set a 33.9, which is 5.5 slower than Tirano Tigger, but this P2 in the grid, which is good I guess. Race Fanatic in third, then Desmond in fourth, Marco FD in fifth, and Ryan L83 in sixth, with 1.4 seconds off pole position. And yeah, I think reasonable with that. I mean, couldn't have done anything about pole 5.5, and it's really quite a lot of time to gain on to find on this track, which definitely wouldn't have been able to today. But yeah, P2 was the optimum I guess, and I think we are about already to start the race, as we are waiting for the final cars to line up to start this social race in the wet. So yeah, it will be quite interesting how we deal with that, as the 5 lights are on, and away we go. Having a good initial launch, again better than Tirana Tigger on the left hand side. We're already taking the position on him. We have the inside line for turn 1. We can keep it as tight as possible. We should be able to stay ahead, still side by side, but he is backing out of it now, and we have taken the lead after the first couple of corners. Again, I should mention, again a better start than Tirano Tigger, which is quite a trend I have to say in these socials. We get racing against each other. Definitely have the better starts, and once he overtakes me, he's just pulling away like mad. And we will see how long we can hold him up this time. Race Fanatic stayed in third position, I think behind Desmond, lost a couple of positions. I'm not too sure actually about that one. I'm just suggesting at the moment. And at the moment we are very cautious. Try to settle into this wet race here. See what we can do in these full wets, as we're a little bit making up a mistake there, losing us tons of speed here coming up to Spoon, but the man behind us is not really capitalizing on that one just yet. Spoon, I mean, definitely Spoon feels like, I don't know, like a hairpin or something to drive around. I mean, we were down to 105 kilometers per hour through Spoon, which is normally a very fast double left-hander, but It just shows how slow these rain conditions really are. And here we go, then very cautious on the braking into the chicane. As we're completing the first lap without too many issues, staying ahead of Tigger, which is good to see. I guess we both pulling away a little bit from Race Fanatic at the moment, 1.4 seconds. Already the gap to him. Seems like we have a little bit of better initial pace at the moment, at least. I think the guys behind need to adjust to these conditions a little bit longer than we both are at the moment at the front. And really the key is now not to make any mistakes, to keep Tigger behind, which is easier said than done, especially in the rain. But they also saw on the strategy board, as we were about to start the race, that it is actually well, heavy raining until, I don't know, the half for the first half of the race, and then it's slightly drying out, and I'm not too sure actually if we even going onto the dry tires towards the end of this race, but we will see, I guess. At the moment, definitely not looking too bad, as we keep on extending that gap, I think, to Race Fanatic behind. Seems like we do definitely not have a pace advantage in the rain of Tigger here. Just keeping it quite nicely with us within maybe 5/10 or so. Not too sure. Also, it will be quite interesting how long the tires last. So we're setting a purple middle sector, which is quite obvious on the second lap. Here we go, then very cautious on the brakings. The braking is very crucial, especially to keep the tires intact, especially the front tires. If you're locking up too often, it definitely will hurt you quite a bit. As we're setting the fastest lap of a 52.6. We're skipping now to the end of lap 3, and the Mana Tigger is very close behind us now, as we're now heading into the chicane again. We were actually not improving on that lap on the second lap there, so it was very good, as we're now coming into the start finish straight, having a little bit of a wiggle. There's just a tiny bit of just tiny bit not concentrated down the exit, and that will cost us the lead immediately. Just a tiny bit of too much of a correction there, and whoops, we already would have landed in the wall. Luckily not slammed it. That could have been disastrous, or even the end of the race, as we are driving still on simulation damage. And we're now at the end of lap 4, and the safety car is being deployed. Well, Tigger was really pulling away, I have to say, in that lap. So it definitely not too bad for us to keep it with him. I think Race Fanatic went into the pits as one of the not many guys did that. I think he was one of the few guys really to do that. As we're now restarting the race on lap 8, we now have got Brian, who overtook Marco along the line somewhere. He's very close behind us. We're putting him into range to make sure that he does not pass us on this straight. We had the pace advantage in the first part of that stint, so we should be able to at least pull away from the guys behind. But I really doubt that we will now stick it with Tigger, as he was very close in the first couple of laps behind us, and he was already pulling away on lap 4 when he overtook us on the main straight the lap before. So here we go, then around the final sector. We're keeping it quite nicely there. The best entry here into the two deckness, which are very I don't know. They're a little bit. It seems like they're a little bit. I don't know what I wanted to say. In the rain, they are definitely very understeery. You can really misjudge them easily and get some warnings along your line. And also turn 1 and 2, you're braking a little bit too late. You will just lock up and go straight on, I guess. And we're now making a big jump onto lap 14, and nothing happened. the gap to Tigger extended to 7 seconds. So what a... Oh no, we were up. Yeah, that's exactly what I mentioned before in turn 1. If you're braking too late there, you just go straight on, and we're getting a warning for that as well, for exceeding track limits. And we extended the gap to Ryan actually behind us to 4 seconds as well. So that's good to see. And it's actually drying out, so our engineer told me to, well, it will be shortly time for inters, and it also seems like there's not that much rain in the air anymore. Tires not looking too bad, I have to say. Especially the rear tires are looking good. And oh, what is that? Game freeze here, which is not too good. Never had that before, but that definitely cost us a couple of seconds, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. It's not too good, I have to say. Definitely not working in our favor at the moment, as Ryan is now maybe only 2 seconds or so, 1 second behind us now. But yeah, as I mentioned, tires didn't look too bad, especially the rear tires were in a very good shape, as we were making a lot of mistaken spoon. Definitely now a little bit, so our teammate is in the pits, but actually that's not our teammate driving anymore, it's actually an AI car. And yeah, that's something that I'm not really happy about. I mean, it's a good feature that you can rejoin if you have a spare invite, but again, if you disconnect in a race, especially on the PC, most of the times your invites are getting deleted from the Steam hub, so you are not even able to rejoin. So that feature on the PC is not really good. As I'm pretty curious, waiting for some reason. I think that's because our teammate pitted a lap, well, on this pretty much same lap. Well, he was lapped basically, but he was in the pits like 30 seconds or so in front of us, and we're now having had a 4-second pit stop, which means, well, it cost us another 1.5 seconds or so. We lost about maybe 4 seconds or so in that last lap because of well, did nothing wrong here, as we're now on lap 16. I think Tigger pitted a lap later, but that didn't cost him too much time, I think maybe a second or so. So not too bad. He's actually the car now coming towards the end of sector 1. He's now going through the Degner curve, and here we go then. This is actually our teammate, this is our AI teammate going very, very slowly, so we have to watch out to catch him not in this corner, but we will do. We're trying to avoid him, and we're going onto the curb, and we're going into the wall and hitting, well, off the entire left part of the front wing. That was very, very annoying. Also from my side, not the best way. I mean, I should have known that these AI cars are not giving a flying heck if you are behind them and try to lap them even. They're not going out of your way on online. And yeah, we touched the cap, outside of the spoon curve, Dunlop corner there, and yeah, that was the end of the race. As there's a car spinning in front of us. That's Race Fanatic, who was about to make a move on Ryan up the front. I think that Ryan went defensive, and Race Fanatic tried to go up the inside and well, make the move a little bit too late from his point of view, and then he well, slipped the rear or span into the wall, don't know, and just span round, and that was very, very unfortunate. Could have been a nice battle between these two, as we are really, really out of contention now, out of well, yeah, we can't do anything. We will lose loads of time with this quite heavily damaged front wing, as the entire left part is actually missing. So you could see that on the indicator. Race that is firing straight from the session. As we now skip to lap 22 and look at the gap to Ryan. 14 seconds. We were like 2 seconds a lap slower than Ryan, and Ryan was a second slower than Tigger, so per lap. I'm not too sure, to be honest. But teammate is in the pits again. So these AI cars are really, really annoying me. I mean, already had an incident with them indirectly in Bahrain, in that social, which costed us a position or so, and now it's basically ruining our chances for a podium position, because Marco is now right behind us. Look at the run he's got out of the Dunlop curve, because such more initial turning, and he's going actually for a move up the inside of the deck now. Normally I would shut the door there, because that is not an overtaking spot in my opinion, especially not in this game, but we'll leave him the room and we will leave him the position, because there's no point defending too hard, as he will overtake us anyway in the next couple of laps, as we do not have any turn-in on these with this front wing. It was basically like driving on wet tires, but with intermediate traction. That's how I felt like in these conditions. And yeah, it will be interesting if it actually will dry out towards the end, if it will dry out quickly enough to go onto the soft, which would have been our only chance, but that actually didn't happen. We're now on the final lap. Well, it is very, very dry indeed, but I think it stopped raining about 2 laps ago or something, so definitely not. I mean, it would have been ready for softs, but I mean, not worth to spend 20 or more seconds in the pits. Also getting would have been a front wing change at the end. So here we go then, round the final few corners with 80% tire wear actually on the front. So we had quite a couple of lockups with this damaged front wing, so which wasn't too good for our for our tires. But here we go then, these are the race results. Tika winning in front of Ryan, very good result from him. Marco in 3rd, then me, then Desmond in 5th, then a couple of guys I actually don't know, and Race Fanatic, of course, who was battling with Ryan for 2nd out of the race as well. So that was it from this race. Hope you enjoyed it. It was quite an interesting one. Had some issues, I have to say, but it was interesting to drive in a full wet race where we didn't even use the dry tires. So hope you enjoyed that, and see you for the next video. Bye bye.
Literally everybody has a penalty.